everyone, in this video I'm going to be talking about units and unit conversions. Okay, so this video is very important in the sense that sometimes the examiner does not even want to know whether you know the formulas or not. They're only checking whether you can convert your answer into a different desired unit. Okay, so that's why this video is important not only for physics, not only for chemistry, but in general science. So on that note, we'll start with the chapter. Okay, so now when we talk about some physical quantities, okay, physical quantities like, for example, we have length, okay, we have mass, we have volume. So all these are different physical quantities. These physical quantities can be measurable, okay, we can measure them. And when we measure these physical quantities, we do that in form of two components. The first component is the numerical value and the second component is called the unit. For example, if I write 5 centimeter, okay, which is the length, of course, then your 5 here represents the numerical value and centimeter here represents the unit, okay. So the entire unit component is what we are going to be studying in this video. So let's begin. Now, when we talk about units and unit conversions, there is a table which we unfortunately have to remember in order to solve, the questions and actually go ahead and perform all the conversions. Okay, but the good news is we know we have a way to do that. We have a way to memorize that table. So we'll do that in a while. But first, let me just write that table. Okay, so there is this basic quantity or the basic unit which is there, all right, which in this video I'll be taking it as meter. And now I will write all the prefixes which we can add with your basic unit, which can be centimeter, millimeter, kilometer, and different basic other prefixes which we can use. Okay, so all the prefixes which will have a value larger than that of your basic value, I'm going to write above. So this is deca, hecto, kilo, mega, giga, and tera. Okay, so and all the prefixes which have a value smaller than that of basic unit I'll write below. We have deci, centi, milli, micro, nano, and pico. Okay, so now this is a table which I've written, and now I'll write what value they signify. Okay, so I'll write it just ahead of them. So the basic quantity or basic unit is 1, because since of course it's not having any prefix, right? Now deca, as we go above, the value will increase with 10 raised to power 1. So it's 10 to power 1, 10 to power 2, 10 to power 3, and after 3 the table will follow 3's table. Okay, so after 10 to power 3 we have 10 to power 6, 10 to power 9, and 10 to power 12. Okay, it's a little clumsy here, but I hope it's visible what I've written. Again, below is 10 to power minus 1, 10 to power minus 2, 10 to power minus 3, and after minus 3 it's going to follow 3's table. It's 10 to power minus 9, 10 to power minus 6, minus 9, and 10 to power minus 12. Okay, so now all these numbers signify a certain 10 raised to power or an exponent value. And now whenever we have to perform any conversion, okay, we will just have to calculate the total number of difference of zeros and we get the answer. So, well, how to memorize this table, we'll do that in a while, but let's first start with a small question. So let's say I want to know 1 hectometer is equal to how many picometer. Okay, so the first and the foremost thing you have to do is draw this table. Okay, and the second thing is locate the two which you have to relate. So I want to relate hecto, which is somewhere here, and pico, which is here. Okay, half my work is done. Now I will just calculate the difference between the two and I'm there with my answer. So now from hecto to deca there's a difference of 1 0. Okay, from deca to basic again 1, from basic to deci again 1, then again 1, then again 1. Now from milli to micro there's a difference of 3 zeros. Okay, 10 to the power minus 3 is going to 10 to the power minus 6. So it's 3, then again this is 3, and then again this is 3. Okay, as and when I add all these numbers, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So total is 10 to power 14. Okay, so of course by looking at this table I know that hecto is a bigger unit as compared to that of pico. So 1 hecto is going to have a lot number of pico, right? One pico cannot have a lot number of hecto, because that is going to be something which is not right mathematically, right? So since hecto is a bigger unit, so 1 hectometer is going to have 10 to power 14 picometer, and that is your answer. Okay, so well, you can practice different questions out, and you just have to just memorize this table. You don't have to do that, I'll give you a way to do that. Okay, you just have to point out the two words which you have to make comparison between, and just calculate the difference of zeros between the two, and you're done. Okay, so now let's come to the main part, how to memorize this table. So if you see this table which I've written on your screen, how to memorize the value of zeros, I think I've told you. Just a basic quantity may you write 1, then 10 to the power 1, 2, 3. After 3, you follow 3's table, and below you just do the same thing in having a negative sign. And now, if you see the initials, okay, of the table, this is T, G, M, K, H, D. Basic quantity is not included, okay. Then D, C, M, M, N, P. So there's a mnemonic which you can memorize. Two girls made kites, having delicious dim sums can make me nice and pretty. Okay, so I've written this mnemonic for you, so that if you want, you can just take a screenshot of the screen, and you can be happy with that. So basically, having delicious more dim sums will not make anybody nice and pretty, but it's a good way to memorize this table. So I guess I have made myself very clear with what are unit conversions, how do we go about solving the questions of unit conversions, and how do we memorize this table. So if you have any doubts, you can actually, of course, come back to me, and you can read the notes which are provided. And if you have any doubts, just, I think one question will be enough. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more.